So it's over. It's completely done. So it's time for me to give my thoughts on the season as a whole, as well as my ranking of all 10 episodes. So that is coming up right after this intro thing. Alright, so I told you guys I was going to be doing this video, and I am. I also said I wasn't sure how I was going to format it, so this is what I'm going to do. It's all in one video. I'm going to do ranking, and I'll give a couple thoughts on the series altogether at the end of the video. That part probably won't be that long, so this will probably mainly be about the ranking. So, alright, let's get right into it. In last place is the Tsuranga Conundrum. I think that's how you pronounce it. Probably could have guessed this is the one I was going to put at the end. If not from what just I said about it, then from what other people have been saying about it. Now that I think about it, you probably would have thought the Ghost Monument would have been at the end if it was just from what I was saying about it. But still, this was at the bottom. So this episode it's kind of like with the Ghost Monument, which I'm going to bring up soon, is that they present you this pudding, and it's supposed to be really threatening, but it looks like it's a cute little baby, and it doesn't mix well because it's threatening, it's doing terrible things, and it's killing people, but it's so cute. Also, there are too many side characters and we don't have enough time to get into each of their backstories and to develop each of the characters, and it's because there's so many of them, it's hard to develop any feelings at all with any of them. None of them have really any depth, and they're just kind of throwaway side characters, and I didn't care about really any of them. Especially Ronan, he didn't do anything. The character in the beginning, I forget his name, but I said it in the review, he gelled really well with the doctor, but then they took him out of the episode in the first 15 minutes. Dumb. I did like the pregnant guy though, he was funny. Okay, moving on to number 9. Yes, the Ghost Monument. Now from what I've heard, other people did like this, but I found it dull and boring. Like I said in the review, it's this big planet supposed to be so threatening and so dangerous, and then we don't really see why. We see sniper robots, the slowest, dumbest sniper robots ever seen. Make me so mad. And we also hear that this water has these flesh-eating microbes in it, but then why? What's the purpose of it? Because no one is threatened by it. They just go and they're perfectly fine. They could have not been mentioned. Nothing would have changed. I do like the fact that, the whole thing with the TARDIS being the Ghost Monument. But this episode was boring. Yeah, I don't think I really have anything else to say about this. It was just really boring, and it kind of tricked us thinking this planet was gonna be threatening, but it wasn't. Number 8, Krakens in the UK. So I tend to not like episodes that are set in modern day Earth, but then again, I really like The Woman Who Fell to Earth. But this one, again, there were some side characters I felt were pointless, especially one that I really didn't like at all. And the plot and the reasons for a lot of these things were very, very weak. The spiders were mutated by garbage. That was the whole thing behind that. One thing I did love about this though was
Federica's performance.
She did very well in here, and like I've been saying, this is the one where she clicks for me. I don't know why. She was good here, and yeah. Okay, moving on to number 7, I believe, Witchfinders. Alright, so some of you may be surprised that I put this as low as I did, but I mean, really, just think about the episodes that are above it and how I reviewed them. I liked them more. This episode had a lot of things that were fine, but there was not really anything other than the performance by Alan Cumming that, blew me away. Good things were good, but they weren't that good. Again, other than performance by Alan Cumming. And then that thing at the end just, it just feels so unconnected at all.
Unconnected at all? What does it mean?
It's like they just shoved it on the end for no reason. I like the idea, and I like the setting and everything, but other than Alan Cumming's performance, the good things just weren't good enough, and then that ending just, it wasn't that bad though. It still wasn't that bad. I enjoyed it. Number 6, Kerblam. Now I'm gonna go ahead and reveal right now what I have at number 5, and that is It Takes You Away. And well, I'm not gonna do that yet because I'm talking about Kerblam right now. But what I want to say is that those two were very close for these two spots. They're very close. Kerblam, it was the characterization, I think, mostly, and the villain and the ending that makes me like this. And those Kerblam Man are so beautifully creepy. So good. That conveyor belt scene, though. Ugh! Frustrating. Made me so mad. Okay, it takes you away. This one's even more frustrating than both the Witchfinders and Kerblam. This was good, and I love what they were doing with this. This episode was bold. They did a very interesting idea that I connected with very well, and the performances by Graham and Grace, and their dynamic, and the way Graham was dealing with having Grace back there again was done so well. I love the idea of an anti-zone and this salad tract. Great ideas, but the execution, the end, that last scene, the talking frog and the weird goodbye is so bad that it just, like, here's what the episode would be, and then it just, like, here's that scene and just Number 4, the Battle of Ranskar Av Kolo. This was an amazingly satisfying conclusion to this season. Exactly what the kind of finale I wanted for this. I would have wanted a 2-parter, but I mean, we only got 10 episodes, so I don't know if, like, in this situation with only 10 episodes, I would have wanted a 2-parter, but in general, I would have wanted one. But I was afraid, like I said, that they weren't going to, care about the fact that this is the last episode of the season. They were just going to make it, like all the other ones. They didn't. They made a good conclusion with a good villain from the first episode of the season, coming back to this one, and this one, in the first one he was a good villain, in this one he was a great villain. I love the performance of the guy that plays that crew man guy who got his brain messed up when they got there. There's a picture of him right there. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, he was amazing, and like I said, the Tim Shaw, great villain. Competing with the Charlie, I think, and maybe the brother from Demons of the Punjab. Tim Shaw was a very good villain here, better than the first one. Number 3, Rosa. Now this one's pretty close up there with Battle of Ranskar Av Kolo, but I put this one higher because I think I like the Ranskar Av Kolo more because it's exciting. Fast-paced, there's a lot going on, it's the season finale, but this is a better made episode, I think. First of all, like I said, I know this is probably going to be weird, but it teaches you. It's educational, and I hate to use that word because people are going to be like, well, we don't want it to be educational, we want it to be entertaining. And yes, but it's entertaining too.
So
I love how the Doctor, Yaz, Ryan, and Graham are, adapting and, like, having to deal with this environment. It's an extremely hostile environment. I love the performance by whoever played Rosa. This was good, and it resonated with me emotionally very well, much more than any of these other ones did. The ending and that music at the end, that just, ooh, yes. The scene at the end, though, with that weird, like, explanation, like, then in 1990-something, she received the Medal of Honor, or whatever. That felt like so forced in, and it kind of pulled me out of the episode for a second. But other than that, it was really good. All right, number 2, The Woman Who Fell to Earth. This opened the season with a bang. I had a feeling I was gonna like this season. I mean, after watching that episode, because this set an awesome tone. Speaking of tone, yeah, this is the most episode. It had a darker tone, and pretty much the entire season carried that with it. By darker tone, I don't mean like a bunch of people dying and torture and stuff. What I mean is just like a darker overall feel. Like I said, I think Tim Shaw was a better villain in the Battle of Ranskar Av Kolo, but I still think he was a very good villain here. I love his design, and I think I might like his design more in this episode than in the Battle of. I'm just gonna say the Battle of Rak. R-A-K. Rak. But yeah, I mean, still a better villain there, but I think I like his design more here. And this episode was a little scary at times too. That's good. I love just not only the Doctor's performance, I do, but even more specifically, just her entrance into this episode was awesome. And the character of Grace, kind of upset that they took her out, and maybe they should have just made her one of the companions in place of Yaz.
What?
Whoa, wait. Hear me out, wait. Actually, I'm gonna say this till after. I'm almost done anyway. Okay, number 1, speaking of Yaz, Demons of the Punjab.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah! This was Yaz's episode.
And it was a good one. Now, this is again, it's close with The Woman Who Fell to Earth, but I think this one edges it out because, kind of like for reason with Kerblam, character development. These side characters, there were a lot of them, but it did not feel crowded like the Serengeti Conundrum or Arachnids in the UK. All of the characters felt like they were doing what they were there to be doing, and I didn't feel like they were doing more than they need to, or not doing anything at all. Ronan. In fact, they all felt like they were doing perfectly the amount of things they needed to be doing. And this is the one episode where we really get to dive deeper into Yaz's character. And when we did that, I liked her, but I mean, overall, she's the least developed companion of the 3 by far, and kind of the weakest in my opinion. But in this episode, it's very good. I love that the villains in this episode, they're so mysterious and awesome, and I love that they're not actually villains too. Okay, what was I talking about? I was talking about, well, you know what? I'm going to look back at this, and then there'll be something on that. The thing I was gonna say earlier, I said I was gonna say afterward. I just slipped my mind right now, but it'll be in here, don't worry.
Okay, so what I was going to say was how I thought that maybe they should have made Grace the 3rd companion instead of Yaz. And the reason I think that is because Ryan, Graham, and Grace already have a relationship, like they know each other very well. And I mean, Ryan did know her, but they still didn't know each other very well at all. And Demons of the Punjab is the only time we get to see Yaz a very major part of a plot and, really involved. The rest of the season, she just doesn't really do much. She gives the Doctor some good ideas, but I think Grace is a better character, and she would have been more interesting, I think, as a companion.
Anyway, I am saying I like the season. I like Jodie Whittaker's performance. I think she progressed as we went along, not only in the season, but in each episode. I love the special effects and cinematography. It looked great. The writing was the biggest problem this season. The writing was a little lazy. Chibnall. I mean, he did write a very good episode at the end, and he wrote or co-wrote The Woman Who Fell to Earth and Rose Up, both of my top 3. So maybe I made a little too hard on him. Oh, the darker tone. I love that. That was really good, and the season reminded me of season 1. Don't know why. I've heard other people say that too, but I think it might have to do with the darker tone. Like, you got the empty child and the doctor dances in that season. It's a pretty dark episode, and this kind of matches it. And like I said, darker tone doesn't necessarily mean a lot of people being killed and stuff. It just means darker mood. I'm pretty sure there's more I wanted to say about this overview thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll stick it in here later. But I liked the season. I liked it a lot, and there are a lot of people who didn't like it, and I think they're wrong. I think it was good. And I am really looking forward to the New Year's special. And I like the fact that it's a New Year's special. I don't think there's a big difference. I mean, Christmas special and New Year's special. But I think, like, maybe moving away from Christmas, it might open some more possibilities. Anyway, that's all for today. And finally, until next time, goodbye. That was a long video.